Weed helps with my anxiety. Notice the ownership of the words my anxiety. So in this case, they know they've struggled with anxiety before marijuana. Now, does weed really help them in this case? No. It limits only their perception for a duration of time. It's a delusion that they are okay. Our bodies are amazing by design, and anxiety included. Anxiety is the tip to the iceberg. It's only a small percentage of a much deeper issue. Your body is communicating with you, and you're choosing to ignore it by smoking marijuana. If you knew where this anxiety was coming from, you would have already resolved it by now. As I'm sure you have tried and failed to resolve this anxiety many times before. So naturally, weed seems like the only solution now, but it's not. When we uproot something, it's in its entirety, the overall system dies with it. Have you tried to resolve this anxiety before and it didn't work? Well, that's because it's a subconscious issue. Because if you knew something was causing you anxiety in life and you knew exactly what that was, why wouldn't you have dealt with that already? Why wouldn't you have eliminated those things already? Why wouldn't you seek to change maybe some perception that you have of that situation so that you better handle it? But if you find that anxiety is something that just overwhelms you, it comes out of nowhere, and you don't really understand why you're going through it, that's because it's coming from the subconscious part of the mind. It is a survival mechanism that is kicked on in order to alert your system that something in your life needs to change. What is that specifically to you? You may have a general idea. You may have an assumption of what that issue is. And so how do you know if you've gotten to the root cause? How do you know if you've found the subconscious issue in your life? Well, whatever you try to address, if anxiety still comes up after that, then whatever you addressed prior was not the subconscious issue. It was not the root cause, because anxiety came back again. It represented itself. And this is where it can get very difficult for a lot of people, because when they are trying to improve themselves or navigate life and go through life, yet they don't know what's going on that's causing them this anxiety, it can be very overwhelming. And that overwhelm can cause them to seek something for comfort. And so if you've failed many, many times before to try and resolve this anxiety in your life, or to resolve the stressors in your system that you experience from some kind of uncomfortable time in your life, but you fail, it's very understandable why you might turn to marijuana. You're turning to it to help you kind of get through the day, to cope. But the danger is that really underneath the addiction, the problem is still there. You can escape the fact that you have anxiety, but that'll only last for so long, because our systems are literally designed to alert us when something in our life is causing us harm. So as much as you may start off smoking marijuana and find it to be beneficial, it may take you years down the line to start realizing that even when you're smoking now, it's causing even more anxiety. You're finding yourself getting more stressed. And that's the difficult part here, is a lot of people try to just push it under the rug. They try to avoid facing their issues head on and maybe seek some help to find what that is in their life, thinking that it may be, just who they are. Oh, I'm just a stressed person. Well, you weren't born with this anxiety. You weren't born with this addiction. At some point in your life, your system started to experience anxiety. And at some point in your life, marijuana seemed like the only option. So if you actually want to get rid of the anxiety and no longer be dependent on marijuana, then you have to get to the root cause. You have to get to the subconscious issue that's at hand.